Hello, hello, and welcome back as I prepare to go shoot some random whistleblower in the brain. In Perfidious Pete plays XCOM: The Long War. This guy's not a whistleblower, by the way. He's not in the hospital because he blew the whistle on us. He's in the hospital because Advent shot him in the brain. But I do have to admit, I gotta say, potential whistleblowers, maybe, just maybe you should let what we're about to do be a lesson to you. You want to be the whistleblower? You want to be the bird that sings, waiting in the wings? Well, guess what? The singing bird is usually the one that attracts attention, and the one that gets attention is the one that gets heard by a hunter and winds up dodging Furious Black's buckshot for the rest of its days, or just catches one of those blasted buckshot right in the mouth, and instead winds up fricasseed on a slice of ciabatta bread with some delicious pepper jack cheese and an avocado wedge. That's all I'm saying. I guess actually what I'm really trying to get is like, don't be Julian Assange, don't be Edward Snowden. Maybe just keep your mouth shut and you won't wind up spending the last of your life on the run somewhere in like Siberia, hiding from the feds, or squatting in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Pete, are you saying that people shouldn't blow the whistle, that they shouldn't expose corruption? I don't know. It's the whole whistleblower and WikiLeaks, blah blah blah, Chelsea Manning, etc., etc. It's a naughty situation, and I don't mean naughty N-A-U-G-H-T-Y as in like, oh, they got naughty, although I think Julian Assange has been accused of such. What I mean naughty, K-N-O-T-T-Y, as in, convoluted Gordian knot style naughty. It goes, I can see both sides of the argument. I've got a little cognitive dissonance on it, and speaking of which, we're going to get some cognitive dissonance when we go put a bullet in this man's expired brain. Wait, are we freeing captured rebels? Why are we freeing captured rebels? I thought we were shooting a man in the skull. Is that this? Oh, shooting a man in the skull is up here. Never mind, we're not even shooting a man in the skull today. We're gonna go be... Well, we're doing a straight-up jailbreak. All right, well, that's fine. We'll go do a jailbreak instead. I still want to talk about the Assange thing, because now it's on my mind. It's 6 of one, a half a dozen of the other. I can see both sides of the argument, and it results in a little cognitive dissonance. Yeah, there needs to be some kind of mechanism to keep checks on large institutions like government, and to just prevent them from becoming unbelievably, undetectably corrupt. But also, you know what? Those guys broke the law, too. Edward Snowden, especially, I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for, because that guy was an NSA employee. He signed contracts and agreements to do some nefarious shit. I mean, that's what the NSA does. They're the National Security Agency, or advisory, whatever. Secret shit is all they do. If you sign on board with that, you have to be sort of okay with the fact that they're going to be asking you to do some nefarious shit, because nefarious shit is their specialty. It'd be like going to McDonald's and being like, hey, we're going to need you to go in the back and cook some hamburgers. And be like, fuck you, I'm not cooking hamburgers. I'm down. I only cook French fries. French fries are my gig. This hamburger thing? No, it's outside my purview. And then suing McDonald's when they fire you for refusing to do your job. A lot of sympathy for that. Also, I don't know about you, but again, back to the whole cognitive dissonance thing. I kind of want my government having agencies whose job it is to do nefarious shit. That's sort of why I pay taxes. I want my government to be better at nefarious shit than literally any other government. I kind of need that. It makes me feel safe and secure. Be like, hey, we're gonna go, like do some weird Chinese hacking stuff and take down all their infrastructure because they started shit and decided, hey, we're gonna declare war. In the event that unlikely, admittedly, since our economies are basically intertwined at this point, but in the unlikely event that something like that goes down, I want to know that my tax dollars are going to secure for me the best in nefariousness. That's what I want. And, when people are taking actions that maybe weaken the overall nefariousness of my particular variety of nefarious, my flavor, if you will, I don't like you impeding the fever of my flavor. But then again, I also don't want the government, videotaping me in my house without my knowledge while I, jerk it to amputee porn. If that's what I'm into, I'm not saying that I am, just, I'm just saying, if I am, that's the kind of thing that maybe I don't necessarily want my government to have the ability to know. Or alternatively, maybe it's the kind of thing right, okay, so Gotcha Again, our new mod, is telling us, hey, you can hack a thing over here. I appreciate the information, but I'm not going to do that. It's also telling us, I believe that doing such will revoke our concealment with the little red gear. Back to the Julian Assange things, though. You know what, if my government is surreptitiously correcting and cataloging a bunch of information about me, as long as they don't do anything with the information, and more specifically, as long as I don't necessarily know about it, Maybe it's one of those what I don't know can't hurt me kind of situations. Sometimes I feel like people just want to know too much. Maybe you're falling into a hole. There are things man was not meant to know kind of area. You gotta read your Lovecraft, man. Maybe the world would have been better without Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Or maybe it would have been worse. I don't know. I have cognitive dissonance. I don't even know why I'm talking about this still. I'm just saying it's a complex issue, and I was just looking for a cheap way to intro an episode where I thought I was going to go shoot a man in the brain. I was basically looking for justification for my douchebaggery. Do I really need to justify my douchebaggery? I mean, these are aliens, Pete. Okay, you make a valid point. Also, I'm real concerned about potentially dropping off of this roof, because if there are bad guys back here and we get spotted, everybody dies. So let's do a little, you know what? We don't really have enough movement left to even make trying to get to this edge safe. I'm just going to go ahead and go on Overwatch here. We've got 10 turns and really not very far to go. Oh, shit, pickles. Bob Newhart. He's the greatest man who has ever lived. Also, Bob Newhart, I believe. He did it. The ghost walking Bob Newhart is the man. Also, these guys are very clearly not watching the... They ain't watching the shit no more. So, Joe Brand, tell me that the coast is clear on the down low here. We got to make sure that this little evac area... Yeah, there are definitely people there, actually. So, we do not want to go this way. We need Joe Brand to maybe come around the corner over... Joe? I got to know what's down here before we get all drop happy. This area looks totally safe. This looks like a real shit sandwich, though. So we gotta know what's over there before we go peeping around that corner. Joe Brand, come jump off of this rooftop. Yep, see? We definitely... Oh, delightful. We definitely would have been spotted there. I kind of... Okay, we're gonna do this. We gotta ghost walk Joe Brand. I gotta be able to see around this corner. That reduces this guy's detection radius to basically on top of us. He is patrolling towards our evac zone. We know there are guys here, and again, Ghost Walk does reduce their detection radius to effectively on top of us. This seems like kind of a shit risk. Okay, so now we know where those guys' detection radius is because Joe Pasha Brand has eyes on. Which means Bob Newhart, without Ghost Walking, can slip in this building. Gotcha, again, would tell us if at any point along our movement we were going to drop our own concealment. That's one of the reasons I installed it. Also, I installed it just because, you know, it actually is a little bit more accurate than the original Gotcha. They took a lot of additional stuff into account when they created it. So, we're not getting hacking indicators on this, I guess because we can't see them. I think you have to be able to see them before Gotcha will give you info about it. I'm also looking for a potential exit path. I'm not really sure what's going to be best. Bob Newhart here is going to drop his concealment when he hacks it. I'd love to have him like be able to hack it from a distance and then just dash out. Can Bob Newhart make that in one? He probably can make that in one run, actually. The fact that this window is open and that Advent may be coming back down from the rooftop, because we know they're up here. I think maybe we go ahead and ghost walk here. Let's grab Bob. We're going to run him around into the corner. With his ghost walk, Bob should be fairly undetectable. Even if these guys come back down into the room, we might still be okay. They're definitely coming back down into the room. Nope, they're staying on the rooftop. Good. Stay the fuck gone, jerks. You know what they're doing up there. When you find Advent on a rooftop, it's like I talked about last episode. It's the bad influence kids, man. They're up there smoking again. They're always up there doing the smoking. It's a bad habit, kids. It's a bad habit. Alright, so Joe Brand is definitely going to be able to escape here. We do have a door in this area. Bob Newhart, can you make this run in like one dash? Absolutely not, because that door is really far away from our overall exit objective. We'd be better to try and jump off of this roof, I think. And while Newhart can't do that either, he can at least get closer to doing that. So, Bobby, are you going to be able to hack the thing from here? It doesn't show that you will, even though you should definitely be able to hack these at a range. Well, hacking doesn't end our turn, so you know what? Yeah. Ooh, Bob Newhart with a really good chance at a small intel cache and actually a reasonable shot at a large intel cache. I'd rather take the slam dunk. And by slam dunk, okay, I mean, I think we rolled exactly a 49, so we would have come up 1 point short on that. I'm okay with the way this worked out. All right, Bob Newhart is now visible. His concealment is gone. There are two ways we could play this. One, we could have Bob Newhart go for the Oscar Mike here and try and dash our civilians out. I don't really like that plan much at all. I would rather our civilians... See, what we're going to see here is this is saying, hey, this move, this is a new feature of Gotcha here. Gotcha is telling us, hey, that move activates a pod, Pete. If you move a guy into this square, those guys are going to jump on you because they can see you in those squares. I frankly love this mechanic. It is fan-friggin-tastic. So if we go along this, though, what are we doing? Hey, we're not activating any pods. So, yeah, let's do that. No pod activations along here. We can skirt the edge of their vision zone. Oh, except for, you know, those guys are there. Right. So, Pete, why did those pods activate then if you said it was supposed to tell you when a pod detection is imminent? Well, here's the explanation for that. The reason that happened and this pod activated and that one didn't, we didn't get the warning because we couldn't see this pod. We didn't have eyes on them, and since we didn't have eyes on them, we did not get the alert. That's actually how the mod is intended to work. That is purposeful to prevent you from knowing things that you should not be able to know. Since we have eyes on that pod, we should know when one of our actions is going to cause them to activate. That's reasonable. But for a pod that we don't even know exists, no, there's no reason for us to know that that pod is going to activate. It's a design choice, and honestly, it's a design choice that I agree with. Also, Bob Newhart, I think, is probably going to abandon these people to die. I mean, Bob's done everything he can do. He's done everything in his power. It's up to, you know, it's up to fate and the gods now. Joe Brand, could you do me a favor before we have Bob move, though? I want to make sure that drone isn't going to be over here to spot Bob and stun him. Really desirous of having that not happen. Ah, yeah, see, the drone is right there. So our plan was to have Bob Newhart come running out here, but if he does that, see, now we didn't earlier get that flag saying, hey, that's going to activate a pod. But now that we know that drone is there, we're absolutely going to get that notification. I don't suppose there's a chance Joe Brand could just come kill this fucker, is there? She can only hit it from that tile. 6 to 8 damage. There's a respectable chance that Joe... You know what, Joe? Do it. I don't think this is going to get us in any additional trouble. We're not going to activate any more pods than we've already activated. So, of course, it was a freaking graze. The fact that it's a graze, though, is not the end of the world. Excuse me? Why did my Blade Master ability not key there? That should have triggered Blade Master. Or does Joe Brand not have... Maybe Joe Brand doesn't have Blade Master. Alright, we're going to run down here with Bob Newhart. Again, our goal and our primary concern is to make sure that Bob and company, and by Bob and company, I mean Bob and Joe, escape unharmed. The rest of these people, you know, I love you. I'm here for you. XCOM is fighting on your side. We're definitely not at all going to just fucking hang you out to dry because we don't give a shit about you. I promise. That's totally not my intent. You three are definitely not sacrificial lambs for the greater good. Nope, not at all. I'm not willing to barter your lives for a tiny modicum of success. All right, that guy moved, marked Bob Newhart. This guy's gonna probably take a shot at Bob. Yep. Even though Bob is in full cover, still getting shot. That was a graze. 24% chance to hit with a 20% dodge. Don't get stunned, though, Newhart. That would be real bad. So he's stunned, definitely. Oh, it missed. Okay. Well then, Mr. Newhart, you cannot escape in a single move, but you can escape in a double move. Now, the problem is, this is almost definitely going to activate a pod, because we know there are robots up there, we're going to run past them, and more importantly, we don't give a shit. We really don't. If that pod activates as the result, worst thing they can do is go on Overwatch and take some shots at our fleeing civilians, many of whom I have to assume are not going to be quick enough to escape in a single turn, and honestly, I, again, really don't give a shit. It's more important that Joe Brand and Bob Newhart get the fuck out of Dodge than that even a single one of these civilians survives for the extraction. So, Joe's work here is done. Joe does have Blade Master, by the way. When this guy moved, shouldn't we have gotten a swing at him? I guess it's only, maybe Blade Master only triggers when they move into, not out of, a square that we threaten. I say threaten like we're playing D&D here. Oh, he moved into a threatened square, he's going to provoke an attack of opportunity. It's really not how this game works, Pete. You seem to be confusing your properties, your intellectual properties here. So, what about you guys? Any of you make it? Nah, you're all short. Well then, I suppose we should probably try and find you places to hide that don't involve you getting killed. I mean, what are the odds Advent kills us all? There's only 4 of them active on the map, and there's 5 of us, so... Probably, like... Well, that could have gone better. I was saying? Right, yeah. I was saying, everybody's dead now! None of these people are gonna survive. It's gonna be a catastrophic failure of a mission. That's what I meant. So, our goal then, I guess, is gonna be, we could put these people in cover and try and, I mean, I suppose the cover option is better. One of these guys is already all but dead. So if they waste an attack on this dude, I'm not gonna feel bad about it. These guys are definitely gonna eat a grenade, though. Yep, here it comes. Robot, grenade. Oh, nope, just gonna shoot this target in the open. All right, kill the wounded guy. That's fine. That critical would have one-shotted anybody else. That guy was already hurt, so he was always doomed. That gunner missed a 60% chance to hit. Okay, here comes our stun lancer. Is gonna deliver another shot to somebody. Well. Okay. 95% chance to hit. Got a sweet critical on that. We're gonna have a drone come up and probably stun. Well, he's not gonna stun her because he can't. It's on cooldown. Can take a shot and disorient. So it looks like we're gonna lose 2 out of 5. All things considered, it is what it is. Oh, don't walk through the blood. You're gonna get it all over the floor of the Sky Ranger when you come in here. Somebody's gotta fucking mop that shit up. That's just, you're just making work for someone. I'm salty about the fact that you ran through the blood. I mean, really, did you have to make extra work for a janitor? Did you have to make extra work for a janitor? Sanitation engineer, I'm sorry. Technically, all the engineers on the XCOM project are, in fact, actually sanitation engineers because all they do is spend their time shoveling up shit. But I feel like those guys have got enough on their plate. They don't really need you helping them out. Oh, what happened to you? There's blood everywhere. Well, you know, I traipsed through a lot of it on the way out here as we completed our jailbreak Operation Unholy Mist. Turns out the Unholy Mist was the mist of blood that were flying out of the slaughtered civilians. When a high-velocity mag round slams through your torso, oh, it makes an unholy bloody mist. Still, any mission you can walk away from without anyone important getting hurt, like Joe Brand or Bob Newhart, they say, is a successful mission. Also, this mission was in Western Africa, where we don't really need Haven personnel. I think one of those guys was actually a rookie, too, which I suppose is okay. Having more troopers under the umbrella of my Umbrella Corp is probably a good thing. Also, any of them that are whistleblowers trying to disclose the fact that we're working on a secret zombie virus down in the basement of Umbrella Corp, you sons of bitches are getting bullets in the brain. Don't give away my secrets. I'm up to some nefarious shit down here, and just because you're part of the nefarious shit team doesn't give you the right to rat me out. Dropping dime on me, you fucking stoolie. Way to simplify and generalize a complex issue, Pete. Your political commentary is fucking top-notch. Nobody expects Bob Newhart, really. The Spanish Inquisition they do expect, because honestly the Spanish Inquisition was quite polite and actually told you, like 90 days notice, that they were going to come inquisit you. Airdrop is real good, actually. It's really, really good. I'm never going to take Field Medic, even though Bob Newhart is running down the medic line, just because I'm probably never going to actually equip a med kit. Granted, maybe equipping a med kit would make Bob way better at his job, but airdrop is so good, man. Suppression is an interesting choice. The problem with suppression for our specialists is most of the time they're going to be using SMGs, and giving somebody an aim penalty when you have an SMG is not that useful. They'll just walk through the fire, and even if you hit them with the Overwatch shot, you're going to take like 4 damage. So it doesn't really do any good. We are going to take airdrop, though. More explosions, Yes, please. Yes, please. I like explosions. Dora Mensa got greased. Kaliokoro got greased, which means Hangawa and Lethuli here, definitely faceless. Mathambi here is a new rookie for us. We'll probably turn her into someone actually and get her corrected. Okay, awaits orders in the army. Shouldn't she be injured? I believe she got shot, did she not? Yeah, lightly wounded. Gonna be out of action for 8 days. That's fine. Not that big a deal. And then I think the only thing that remains for us to do is to see which one of these missions hits 200% first. Are we gonna be doing the second city HQ assault? Advent strength still at a 5 there. Or are we going to have the annoyance go shoot a man in the brain? Or are we going to do something entirely different? So, hack the hidden resistance computer, find a lead, very light. I thought we found like a dozen different leads here. I mean, we're definitely going to do this. We got the Laugh Factory on staff. No, not the Laugh Factory. I'm thinking maybe we just send the groundlings back in because Bob Newhart and Joe Brand were more than enough to get the job done last time. And Bob Newhart is like the sneakiest infiltrator we've ever discovered. He's real good, so we're going to go ahead and send the groundlings in. 2 days, 2 hours. Total infiltration. Oh, the mission expires in 2 days, 3 hours. We're actually over. And it is an evac with flare mission, which means... If we're going to be this far over, our evac turn timer base is going to be a little higher. We could boost this, but even if we boost it, we're still over. I don't want to just send one person, because even just one person is not... Like, even if we kick Bob Newhart off of this, Joe Brand is still going to overburn it. And adding Bob Newhart into this doesn't really add much at all. 3 days, 13 hours... versus 3 days, 3 hours. Bob Newhart's only bringing an additional 10 hours to the mix. I still kind of feel like the groundlings can get this done. We need leads because I do want to try and start my liberation chain here as well. Although I thought we had already started our liberation chain. Because we already had find a lead missions. And we already completed them in Western Africa. Maybe at some point we dropped one and broke the chain. I'm not really sure, but we got to get this started. Enduring Fog may roll in during the mission as well, which will help keep us safe. And in all likelihood, then that will be our next mission, because it's definitely going to take us longer for the second city to finish their infiltration. Oh, good. Haven infiltrators again, because just what I needed was less fucking opportunity to get supply, thanks to the fact that there are a billion goddamn faceless in every single one of my fucking havens. This mechanic, Pavonis, has got to be adjusted. There is almost, in this entire campaign, at almost no point has it been advantageous for us to have anyone at all assigned to gathering supplies, because all of those supplies are going to faceless anyway. Like, literally everyone. He says as he puts more people on supply. Yeah, I did. I mean, we picked up 2 new guys. We might as well put them on intel. I think we've got the intel thing pretty well covered here. You're real salty, Pete. I am real salty, man. Hanagawa. This guy's... Okay, so this guy's definitely a faceless, then, who's going to be doing nothing but taking away from the amount of supplies we have. It doesn't make sense for us to assign anyone to actively try and get supplies when we never get them. We're deliberately wasting those people's time. That's what we're doing. Be like, hey, Jim, go get some supplies. He's going to be like, well, really? Do you want me to... You sure? I mean, the faceless are just going to take them all, right? Be like, no, no, it's fine. Go ahead and go get them. No, this time we got the faceless under control. They're absolutely not going to run away with all of our supplies. He's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to take all of our supplies. Like, no, it's good. It's good. Don't worry about it. 1 day, 23 hours, extremely light. I mean, we might as well wait. It's not like we need these guys for an additional mission or anything. And there we go. So we are good. We will do that mission next time. That'll be where we kick things off. This time, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like down in the comment section. Support really does mean a lot. And if you'd like to see us go shoot an potentially innocent man in the brain, you'll have to tune in next time because, hey, I fucking lied to you at the start of the episode. Perfidious, it's right there in the name. What'd you expect? I'm going to tell a fib or two. I'm going to pull your chain a little bit. I'm going to yank your leg. If you want to see more Yag Lankin, you might consider subscribing as well. Post new episodes of XCOM every single day. Right now, thanks very much for watching. I'll lie to you again soon.